Hi everybody and welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning May 7th, 2018. This week I will be using the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. And I'll also be intuiting some of the messages that come in for us for the week and all of the wonderful things that we can expect. So how are you doing? How was last week? I personally found that there was a lot of female versus male type of energy. It seems like every conversation I walked in on, there was, women against, having some sort of male problems or, excuse me, just kind of this contrast between the feminine side of life and the masculine side and trying to find the balance and things like that. So I found it a really interesting week last week. I'm so curious to see how you all felt. Please let me know. You can feel free to send me a message. I love hearing from you all, or you can comment below with all of the interesting things that may have happened to you last week. The energies were a bit interesting. There were some unexpected events that happened, maybe some interesting people that came into your life. Did you meet anybody that was a bit different from the people that you typically roll with? We did celebrate Beltane last week, May 1st. So I thought we would use the fairy tarot cards because we didn't for last week. And we want to celebrate the fairies. So Beltane is all about the beautiful fairies and it's their holiday and it's a magical time. So let's ask them for a little bit of help. Tuning into this week, it might be time for a weekend getaway. It might be time for a retreat of some kind. So maybe if you can this weekend, get out of town, maybe go visit some friends or go stay in a cabin somewhere if you can, or even go stay in the mountains if they're close to you, or a beach house or something like that. Get out of Dodge for a little bit and unwind and retreat. It seems like a really nice time to be able to do that. It's almost feels like summer vacation a little bit, like it's time to go and relax and everybody's just kind of starting to unwind a little bit. And this also might be a result of a lot of anxiety that we've been dealing with the past couple weeks and kind of trickling into next week. So you might feel as though some retreat of some kind will be really good for you. If you find that you're a little bit sad this week, just honor yourself in whatever way you need to. Clear your energy out and just also sit with your sadness. Try not to reject it, because once you start to feel it, you can actually start to use it and use it as your teacher, so that whatever is causing you the pain, you can learn from it and move forward. And it's also a good time to start cleaning. So clean out your house, get rid of all of the old stuff and all of the old stuck energies that maybe are not serving you anymore, and it's time for something new. It's time to bring in that spring energy. Maybe even get a feng shui consultant or look up feng shui in your house. Maybe it's time to adjust some things to attract more money or some love into your life. And also that will help with the depression and anxiety energy that we've been feeling is refreshing. So taking out the old and room is made for the new to enter. Anything else for this week so far? Seems a bit of a random message. All right, let's see what the cards have to say, shall we? Okay, theme. They're kind of picking themselves. Fairies are very strong in their messages. I've always loved these cards. I know Doreen Virtue has a complicated relationship now with all of the tarot cards that she's created, but Radleigh Valentine is still very much a tarot card guru, so I've always really enjoyed these cards because I find them wicked accurate and they're so beautiful. So for the theme, we have Six of Winter. Positive changes are on their way. A welcome relief from troubled times, traveling, or relocating. Wow, what did I say? We're going to want to retreat this week, and I think that this weekend is going to be a really great time for us to retreat. Understand that every challenging aspect of your life right now, or anything that may be causing you stress, is here to teach you. And big, happy changes or results from that pain will be entering in so that it can be cleared, so that you can learn from it and you can open your arms to receiving whatever result of all of that pain or suffering was. So the changes are coming. They're on their way. All you have to do is just get through this time, take care of yourself, make sure that you're feeling supported in any way that you can, and just open your arms up to receive. Try not to force things too hard because they're already coming. And if things aren't really working too much, it could just be that you're trying to force it and push too much. So just retreat back a little bit in that way as well, and just allow the universe to provide. It's also going to be a really good time for cleansing. So this is just reminding me of those Viking funerals where they put a body on a boat and send it out into the river lit on fire. So did you recently have a breakup? Are you switching jobs? Are you moving? Did some sort of big event happen in your life and you really want to cleanse from it to move on and release those energies? So having a bonfire safely, burning things that perhaps no longer serve you, or things that you can burn safely again, it might be a good time to engage in those kinds of activities. And also, if you're a person that likes to meditate, maybe play with different colors of fire to clear your energy, or to meditate on and to give you energy in your day. I know, those empaths out there, you get really exhausted from taking on everybody's energy, but if you can play with visualizing different types of flames, you will find that your energy will much improve. So you can transmute everything that you've kind of picked up and turn it into fuel that you can use. So play with those as well this week. So the beginning of the week, we have 5 of spring. Opposing goals arising from different opinions, feeling at odds with yourself and others, overly ambitious people. So 5, I'm relating this back to change because we did have a card. The theme was saying that we are going through a bit of change. So this could just be a challenge or a conflict arising as a result of the change. Some people may not understand, or some decisions that you're making are hurting other people. As long as you are standing in your truth and in your love, there's nothing you can do sometimes about how people feel. You just have to treat people with respect and love. And if they're going to react in a certain way, all you can do is do your best and come to them with compassion, and don't weigh too much when you're standing in your power. Always have compassion and love for someone and understanding, but they're asking you to compromise your own values. They don't have your best interests at heart. So you always have to follow your own truth. So I am getting that this could be family related, that there are 2 opposing sides on a big decision that needs to be made. Those may come the beginning of the week. Also, I'm getting that one person out there's a boss of some kind, whether you own your own business or you're just a manager, or you're a leader at work of some kind. You might have a bit of a conflict with people on your team, some people who are overly ambitious, like it says. Whether it's with you and your decisions, or it's with each other on the team. Just, keep an eye out at the beginning of the week for some conflict happening. And try to, if you're involved in the conflict somehow, try to walk away and breathe before you come back in and try to deal with the conflict. And picture it as being perfectly healed before you approach the subject, and always ask the angels to come in and help you resolve those kinds of things. But also, if you have to have any particularly difficult conversation with somebody who blows up on you, Monday, Tuesday perhaps may not be the best time to have that conversation. Perhaps it's in the middle of the week to have that conversation, because we have the 2 of summer. So the 2 of summer is kind of that. It's the 2 of cups in tarot, but here it's the summer. This is the Lover's card, basically. So this says, falling in love, making serious commitment to someone, forgiveness and a resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. If you're having relationship problems, go on a date in the middle of the week. If you are having relationship problems, write a list of all the things that you could do for your partner, all the things you could do about yourself, all the things that you can do for them. Take a look at your relationship. If you're trying to make a big decision in the middle of the week, perhaps it's not the end. Maybe you just are going through a new cycle and you've had a bit of conflict. Perhaps in the beginning of the week, you have opposing views, but in the middle of the week, things should kind of mellow out a bit. And it's like this huge shift, and you're going to come back to that beautiful romantic couple that you were when you first started. This could also mean for some of us that love is entering in. This is also, I'm feeling, falling in love with, I don't want to call them things, but like job or passions, or maybe you go and watch like roller derby and you fall in love with it and you just become obsessed with it. So middle of next week, just really pay attention to what happens to you in the middle of the week. It'll be a very loving, very love-filled presence there. So again, open your arms to receive those big happy changes. And if you have been single for a while and you were ready for, you really want a relationship, maybe go out, get dolled up middle of the week and go out to some respectable establishment that you can go and pick up dudes or chicks, if that's your thing. So for the weekend, we have 8 of Spring. Stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. So we have 0 major arcana in this reading this week, which means that you have all the power. And we've been seeing this as a common theme over the past couple weeks, that the major arcana, when you have very little control over things, is kind of stepping out, and we're getting our power back because it's this time of extreme rapid forward movement, because we've been stagnant for so long and we've been kind of in this period of surrendering to the universe and surrendering to the energies and just flowing with them. But now we're dusting ourselves off. We're ready to have some fierce action. And so the energy of the universe, the energy of our world is pushing us. It's behind us. It is supporting us in this new change here. That being said, try not to take on too much. For me personally, that's really tough to do, but really try to not overwhelm yourself. Now that you are in this period where you feel like you can actually get things done, it's so easy to bite off more than you can chew. It seems easier to justify being lazy in the wintertime. But now that we are getting out of that stagnant energy, it's going to be really tempting for us to overload our schedules. But we're still in a period of healing, and that's very important for downtime. And we as humans are so busy as it is. We need to just slow down and take time for resting so we can allow our healing to continue and we can ground ourselves. And plus, it's really good for your physical health to just chill and not to be stressed. So take a look in your life and look at where you're adding undue stress, where you are taking on too much that perhaps does not need to actually be happening at all. And maybe open your mind to some new tools that you can utilize for your multitasking. Maybe you can actually ask people to help you. Maybe you can outsource, or maybe you're wasting your time on a particular task when you could be doing 2 things at once. Like, for example, if there's I shouldn't be advocating multitasking as a meditation teacher. So there are ways to healthily, like meditation, I guess. You can, if you're not one for sitting down and meditating. I know people who vacuum and meditate. I always tell people, when you're walking somewhere, pay attention to the movements in your body and just fully be present in the body when you're walking. That's a form of meditation. Focusing completely when you're cooking, those kinds of things. So find those periods where you have to get things done, but you can also perhaps work on that stress relieving situations. Versus, I want to take this course, I also have to I want to watch this movie, and I also have to pack up for a trip I'm going on. Doing all of those 3 things is a lot. Maybe cut it down to 2 things instead. And sorry, I have something in my throat. Phlegmy. I had dairy today, so now it's kicking me in the throat. So, bottom line is, try not to overwhelm yourself with all of the tasks that you need to get done. You will get everything done that you need to get done. There are certain things in your schedule that you can get rid of and that don't really need to be there. Perhaps there are obligations that you don't need to have in your life, and you can release them with love without guilt. And there are ways to successfully multitask without becoming even more overwhelmed, because that's kind of the thing, is if you are multitasking all the time, you will get overwhelmed faster because you burn out faster, because you're not, say you only have a certain amount of things you can get done in a day. So if you do 3 things at once, you're going to burn out way faster than somebody who took their time to do one thing at a time. So you may take just as long as that person who is doing one thing at a time, because your focus is in like 5 different places, but it gets harder towards the end of the day because you've burnt out all of your energy, because you've been hyperactive on it. So it's more efficient to focus on one thing at a time, or only 2 things. There you go. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. If you want a private reading with me, or a healing session, or spiritual life coaching, hit me up at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com and come visit me at katiehunt.ca. And while you're there, please subscribe to my website so you can receive a whole bunch of delicious coupons and special offerings and special insights that I only share through email. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead, filled with tons of insight and love and joy. And I hope that you get to take that vacation or that retreat that's so badly needed. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here. I so do appreciate it.